Welcome to This Week in Wyoming Cowboys Sports here in WyomingAthletics.org and ESPN Media powered by Sidearm Sports. I'm Jason Griefer. This week we're joined once again by Wyoming Assistant Athletic Director Jeff King. Jeff, good to be back with you again. A lot of exciting stuff going on right now in Wyoming, is it not?
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it was a good week last week, and actually, I know we'll talk about boys golf, but no, I spent the morning this morning at the CHL Boys Golf Championship. Not a bad day at the office out on the golf course. So a lot of good things going on.
Let's just go right there. How did it start out for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting well. We got some players that are really shooting well right now, hovering right around par. There's some really good golfers in this league.
Yep.
And Wyoming, we got a pretty young team. We only have one senior. But a ton of promise. And Coach Webb has really been working with those guys so much that I think we could make some noise here today once it wraps up, and then we got the sectional tournament coming up. So we're really excited with how they're playing.
How did they feel like? Did they feel like the coaches feel like their players were at least trending in the right direction? Because as you said, this is a very good league at the top. Madeira, Marymount, Indian Hill, and what have you, and you guys as well. Did they at least feel like they're heading in that right direction going into today?
Yeah, I think so. We actually talked a little bit about kind of some of our guys were paired up with Madeira, Indian Hill guys, and we're going toe to toe with them for the most part. Really saw some great shots here today, and it makes me wish that I could go out and hit the ball like that when I play, but I'm certainly nowhere near that. And it's a ton of fun to watch them kind of grow as they have throughout this year. And like I said, I'm super excited to hear how they finish today. They play Taylor tomorrow at home, and then we got the sectional tournament coming up. So a lot of good stuff going for that team.
Were you walking out there, or did you just grab a cart?
So I got there, and the coach actually picked me up in the cart. So we took the easy way out, riding around. But we got out a little bit, walked around the course, talked to a couple of players, saw some shots, and beautiful morning for golf, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about the girls. They've got sectionals right around the corner as well. We've got a couple matches this week with Summit and Princeton. Are they looking at this as a week to, yes, you want to win these matches, but just as importantly, if not more importantly, fine-tune your game and clean up any holes in the game before you head into the sectionals?
Yeah, I think so for sure. It's definitely business as usual, but they did so well in the CHL this year that now they get these two matches to kind of ramp themselves up going into the sectional tournament, like you said. And I know they're really excited about it. I talked to Coach Carrie Smith yesterday about it, and she just can't wait to get on the course and get those girls out there. And we're excited, just like with the boys team. I think they can make some good noise in the sectional tournament.
Do you feel like maybe it's a good thing at this point to go out of the league right before sectionals, so they get the feel for playing against players maybe they haven't seen either at all or very much throughout the regular season?
Yeah, I think so. It's good experience for them to kind of get a change of pace and kind of, I guess, test their skills against, like you said, players and maybe, get different looks that they're not used to, play with people that they're not used to. Because as you move forward, you never know, I guess, from week to week who you're really going to be going up against. So you might as well start to prepare, which is great, having those two matches this week going into the sectionals.
Yeah, no doubt. And we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Let's talk about your tennis team. They got a big one on Tuesday. You get Indian Hill, and they've just been bludgeoning teams really for the last month or so. They've won 8 straight matches, all of them in 5-0 sweeps. Your team's no slouch either. You're 10-3 overall. You're right there in the thick of things as far as the league race goes. And obviously, we've talked before about how good Indian Hill has been for a long, long time, and it's going to take a big time performance from your tennis players, Samara, Sophia, and we've talked about them in the past to get this done. Do they feel like their games are at that point where they feel like they can go out there and they can pull off what a lot of people would think is a pretty big upset?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're really, really confident going into that match. We really had some good, out of conference games this year, our matches this year also on that tennis team to really go up against some really tough opponents, really good competition. The coach has those girls ready, and she's tried a couple new things as we've gone through, the season, and they've worked out really well. We had a good week last week, and I think we're excited as we're getting down to the wire here with that season also, and moving forward, and from singles to doubles I think we can really make some noise when it comes time.
We'll be checking in on that match for sure. Volleyball team, they've got it rolling as well. They're going to get Indian Hill coming up this week too. You look at this, the way the schedule's gone. You haven't lost in September. You've only dropped 3 sets in the entire month. And so they've really been on a roll there as well. And we talk about, we know how good your program's been for a long, long time. And Indian Hill is trying to get there. They want to dethrone you. They want to knock you off there. So when a big match comes up like this, and Indian Hill's right there in the standings as well, do you get the sense that the team gets that a little extra bit of juice, or they've just been so used to the rigors of this schedule that it's just the next game on the schedule?
Well, I think that it's a little bit of both, right? I think they are used to it where we had some really tough competition out of league to start this year off. And then going into the CHL, we knew, where we were and how we want to stay at the top there. And Indian Hill is always such a tough matchup. We had a really tough one last week against Taylor that we gutted it out the last 2 and 3 games, but still won 3-0. And so, we're back healthy on the court, and they're feeling really, really good. Coach DeLong has those girls ready. Indian Hill is always a tough matchup. I think there's always a little bit of extra juice when the girls are getting ready to play Indian Hill. Like you said, it's right there at the top, and we know what we have to do to take care of business.
Yeah, obviously, as we said, a successful program for a long, long time. And the way that you've been on a roll and you've been on rolls like this in the past, how important is it for your coaches to not allow your team and players to get maybe a sense of complacency that we've been here before, we know what to expect. If we bring our A game, that'll be enough?
I think it's really important, especially because we kind of saw at the beginning of this year when we had some injuries, we weren't at our full roster and ability, where we saw how quickly things can change and you have to adapt, and it's next player up right away. And now that we're at the full swing of things, we know, okay, look, let's take advantage of this. We're not letting up. Let's keep the CHL streak alive and really go after it, and so that we have a good chance, going through, hopefully defending the league title, and then, going to the playoffs.
If you go ahead and win the league title again for the 10th or 11th year in a row, when we talk at that time, again, if you seal the deal, can you just have the trophy just like sitting there, like right on your desk, like next to me, just as a humble brag?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I know Coach Long's going to want to hold on to that thing, and I'm sure the girls as well. But let's take it one game at a time. We got a really big one against Indian Hill. We got a lot of really big games coming up for that volleyball team. So it's definitely one game at a time, business as usual. But we're really excited about where that team's headed.
We'll look for the trophy in a few weeks. I'll say it. You don't have to because you're there. I'll say it. Let's move on to the pitch. Let's talk about first girls soccer. Bit of a rough patch they're going through right now. Things just really not going their way at the moment. Still a long way to go, but dropped 3 out of 4 matches on right now, and now they're going to go on the road for 5 out of the next 6. You start with Waynesville, and then back in the league with Deer Park. Tough stretch right now, and this is a critical point of the season, I would say, given how things are not going your way, and now you're getting away from home. What's the mindset right now of the team, given those 2 factors, that you're not playing well and now you're not going to have the comfort of being at home?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's nice is that group of girls they're a really tough group of girls, and kind of liken it to the boys team, where the last several times we've watched them play. They play gritty, they play so hard. And there's a lot of chances that we just haven't quite capitalized on in a couple of those games, that we know just those little things, we tweak a little bit and we're going to set ourselves up for success. Most of our goals are all still there. And, our biggest goals get on and make a run in the tournament. So tonight we start with Waynesville. It's kind of nice. We get an out of conference game. We go up there, play, and kind of get a feel out of the CHL a little bit, tough competition, and hopefully get back on the right track this week. We're definitely excited about where we are, and we have a lot of great things on that team happening, even with the 3 losses that we're still super excited about.
You've been through the grind before as an athlete when things aren't going your way, and then you have to go. You look at the schedule and think, oh gosh, now things aren't going well. We got to get away from home. Can you use that though as a rallying point that, hey, we're getting out of our comfort zone. We have to come together even more so now to get things turned around?
Yeah, I think so, especially because you want to be able to go on the road, win, and then come back home when you do get back to another home game on a winning streak. Ride that into your home stadium with your home fans. So, like I said, they're still super excited. A lot of positivity. I think that we're starting to see more and more through that team, and they're tough girls, man, and we're excited what we can do tonight against Waynesville.
On the other side, the boys are 1-1 in the league. Again, it's early on. You get a 3-0 win over Madeira, and you've got Deer Park and Reading coming up this week, who have not won matches in the league. Again, it is early. But with everyone chasing Marymount right now, and you've seen the scores, you know how well Marymount has played thus far in the season. They've beat everybody they've played thus far. Is this a week, given your opponents, given that Deer Park and Reading have not won yet, is this a week they feel like they have to get 2 wins in order to get back up there?
Yeah, I think so. It's one where we want to win out the rest of the games and go and seed ourselves really well to the start of the tournament. We lost that Marymount game, and it was a really, really tough match. So we know what we can do. And this week, I think getting 2 wins in the CHL, you never know what's going to happen. So, like you said, it's early in the season. The league title is still up for grabs. No one has won that yet. We still have the goal, and our sights set on that league title. But even further, where we're preparing ourselves every game and every day for making a run, in that state tournament, unfinished business, like I said earlier on with that team.
How do they balance that you're building towards wanting to win a league title, but also you want to make yourself prepared for the postseason without losing focus on trying to win that league title?
Yeah, I think Coach Jones does a really good job where, it's still one game at a time. So every single game, no matter who we play, think of it as, okay, let's go take care of business in the league. But every league game that we play, we got to get better and focus on the fact that, we're going to be playing some really, really tough competition in that tournament. And we've thankfully had some good games, out of conference and obviously in conference with, Madeira and Marymount are 2 really good soccer teams. So they've definitely prepared us going into this week to, have some good success.
Cross country over the weekend in a very, very loaded Eaton invite there. It was a lot of really good runners and a lot of really good teams there in that one. How did you feel they ran? Did they run up to maybe administration or coaches' expectations in that one? And what adjustments do they make from that heading into this coming weekend?
Yeah, I think so. What's great is that we're finally out there running, and we've had 2 meets now. We got off to a slow start of being in meets for the cross country team, so they're getting their feet underneath them. We have a ton of runners, which is awesome to see. Coach Frondorf, is always has them ready, and it has a great pool of kids to kind of choose from for those meets. So we're excited the direction that we're headed. We got another good one coming up this weekend with Princeton. There's going to be a lot of really good runners there. So it's really exciting where we're at.
They feel like they are trending upward in the right direction heading into the latter half of the year.
So I think so very much. I think that the coach has them in a really good position, and we'll see. Like I said, Princeton, that's a big meet. There's a ton of runners, so it's going to be in a good position after this week. 3 meets under our belt. It's going to be good.
We'll definitely keep an eye on how they perform out there at the Princeton invite. Finally, let's talk about your football team. We talked last week about how good Deer Park had been offensively coming into that game. They'd scored 91 points in the previous 2 games coming into the game with the Cowboys. You hold them to 7. You beat them 35-7 to go 4-0. I see the grin on your face, like you almost expected it was coming. But I want to move forward now. You and Indian Hill are both 4-0. You're not going to see each other during the regular season. You each have Taylor and Finneytown to finish the year. And I think a lot of people were caught some attention seeing Taylor beat Madeira this past week, 15-14. So that may have raised an eyebrow or 2. But that being said, from an outside perspective, these look like 2 very winnable games, not only for Indian Hill, but for yourselves as well, or at least games that you should take care of business in. So given that point, and you want to head in the right direction heading into the playoffs, how is Coach Hancock going about not allowing that complacency to set in that, we're taking on teams that we know we're more talented than, and not allowing themselves to get caught up in that and potentially get caught?
I think, a big thing that Coach Hancock preaches is never play down to a level competition. Always play our game of football. And, no matter who we play, I think it's going to come down to the point where we're going to get, Finneytown's best shot this Friday night. We're going to get Taylor's best shot next Friday night. You never know what happens in league games. You're going to, they're going to have some tough kids and some good athletes. And we just have to be business as usual take it week by week, which Coach Hancock does such a good job at, in preparing those guys, knowing that, we prepare every single game, the same way, no matter who we play. So it's the next two games are just as big as the one it was last week, and we're looking forward to coming out and taking care of business on Friday night.
I think one of the things I noticed too in seeing this result come in now, your points per game have gone up from 3 to 4. We gotta. That's something we got to get taken care of there. But you've been through that. You've played it yourself before. How impressive is it to see through 4 games that you've given up 4 points per game?
It's really, really good to see. Coach Seymour, the defensive coordinator, has that defense always ready to play, and we got some good leaders on that team. That we know that, like, I mean, the first quarter of the Deer Park game, our offense didn't even touch the ball. So we knew that our defense was going to have to come out the rest of the game if our offense wasn't going to get much chances to touch the ball, that they were going to have to, make some big plays. And we ended up having some really good plays on defense. Obviously, some really awesome offensive plays as well on Friday night. But our defense is just always so ready to play. They're so tough. They love to come out and hit. And I think it's a kind of a thing of pride for us, to where if we can keep our in single digits, it's definitely going to be a good sign of things to come.
This offense is finding its way. I think you can see week by week they're getting a lot better. One of the other guys I want to talk about here, and we talked about Brennan Pagan before, now taking over for Evan Prater at quarterback. He didn't have to throw the ball much. I mean, we're looking at the official numbers: 1 of 4 for 7 yards, and the reason being is because you've got a beast at tailback in C.J. Hester, 22 carries, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. We had to figure coming into the season that running the ball was going to be the MO, with the quarterback change and a lot more focus. I think a lot of people thought was going to go on the running game because you got a new man that's the signal caller. And yet they still continue to put up 300, 350 yards per game on the ground. How critical has that been, not only for the success, but also to help Brennan ease into the new job as quarterback?
It's been huge to know that we have, C.J. Hester, then you put Bo Thomas back there in the backfield, and then Brennan Pagan runs the ball really well also. So those 3 guys back there running around, we have a lot of really good options. C.J. Hester, that game Friday night, we talked about it. It's really hard to tackle, a running back who just refuses to get tackled on the first hit. He just refuses to do it. He's such a tough kid. He works his absolute tail off, and he's been so much fun to watch. But Bo Thomas had an awesome touchdown run also, and so did Brennan. So I love seeing us run the ball. I love it when we get into the eye. I was an old eye formation guy, so I love that type of stuff. But it's really been fun to see, and I think that our offense is really kind of coming together, knowing that we have those different options. And when Brennan needs to throw the ball, he has the utmost confidence, just like we have the utmost confidence in him to throw the ball. And we got some good receivers to bring it down.
What would you say about the character of these tailbacks that you have that, as we said, coming into the year, everybody expected that you were going to rely on the run game, and yet they're still churning out these results?
Yeah, I mean, they're 3 leaders is what they are. And they're 3 guys that know that we have a different offense this year, but all 3 of them want that offense to be, put on their shoulders. And they love getting the ball. They love running the ball, but they also love to help the other guys who are also running the ball. Those guys aren't going to shy away from blocking anybody. I don't even think our quarterback, Brennan Pagan, is going to shy away from blocking anybody. I'll tell you that. I mean, the way he comes down and fill the holes on defense, I know that, So those are 3 guys who just love playing together. They love playing with that offensive line. I talked to C.J. Hester and said, "Hey, that's a great game the other night." And he said, "Everything goes in my offensive line." That is the running back mentality that you want to see, and that's the first thing that he said. So it's really good to see right there, and we're excited about where the team's headed.
Lastly, before I let you go, I want to talk more on the grand scheme of things. We've got a week and a half left in the month of September. Some fall sports are heading toward the postseason, others right in the swing of things, and winter sports aren't too far off in the distance. Where are we at right now in terms of atmosphere around the high school? Are we still riding on a high because we have sports, or are we at the point now where these programs have kind of turned that page and said, okay, we know the parameters, now it's business as usual, let's practice, watch film, game, and repeat from there? Where are we at in that balance?
I think that we've definitely come into where it is business as usual, and we're preparing just like it's a normal season. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing some really good success is now that we've gotten into the swing of things and that we're playing, we're preparing like we normally do. We watch film like we normally do. We're in the weight room like we normally are. We're coming back into our own way like a normal fall season, still knowing that there is that unknown out there. But, obviously we're excited about where all the teams are headed. But even with the winter sport kids, we work them out with the off-season weightlifting group, and they're all super excited about where we're at right now in the fall, but super excited about, what could be done, come wintertime. So make sure that they're playing as well.
One more. How would you say that the student athletes have reacted to not only turning the corner, as you said, business as usual, but also keep in mind that we still have to do all the things that go with this pandemic, the masks, the social distancing, maybe not as normal amount of prep time, all that kind of stuff. How would you say they have struck that balance?
They have handled it very, very well. I think that they handle it. I'm really impressed with how well they've taken to where, look, it's something that we have to do. The social distancing, the mask, kind of keeping their bubbles tight to where they want to make sure that they continue to compete and they're around. But also, the fall athletes, they want to make sure that the winter athletes can compete. Many of them are winter athletes, but they want to make sure that they're doing the right thing so their classmates, can get on the courts and the fields in the winter.
Late September and doing the right things both on and off the field. We certainly like to make a mention of that. Jeff, great catching up with you once again. We'll do it again a week from now, and hopefully there's a big trophy sitting next to you.
I hope so, man. We're going to do whatever we can for it. I appreciate it, Jason.
Absolutely. That is Wyoming Assistant Athletic Director Jeff King joining us for This Week in Wyoming Cowboys Sports here on WyomingAthletics.org and ESPN Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.